What's going on, everybody? My name is VHOF here. I'm going to bring you a tinking guide for VHOF fabrication. Just going to go over the gear monster set, enchants on the gear and weapons and jewelry, as well as the traits that I'm using for the gear and the weapons, and I'll go over the CP skills, food, and pots as well. So let's get right into it. The first 5-piece set I'm using is Plague Doctor. Let's just look at what it does right quick. All it's doing is giving you max health, more max health, some healing taken, and 5790 maximum health as a 5-piece trait. It's not a bad set. Helps out with a health tank build, which is this one is basically it. I'm just gonna help that out, get you that more extra health. So the weapon traits that you want to look for are infused. I'm not that prone to wanting to grind for something for hours that I'm only going to use a few times, and I'm waiting for the prices to drop a little bit before I go and purchase an infused one-headed Plague Doctor weapon. But anyways, you want infused. It's always what you're going to want, and the reason why is right here. Increases the enchant effect by 20%. So it's you're going to lower the resistance down by 1946. And without it, it's at like 1622 for 5 seconds. So not that bad, but you definitely want infused. If you can't get infused, you just can't happen to, you just are not that lucky, then by all means use what you got, because the main reason why you're using it is for the 5-piece set. And this is mainly for vet halls. I mean, you can use this build in every other trial and dungeon. I've done it before, but this is mainly for vet halls. What I used to clear it the first time, and the second, third, all that stuff. So anyways, infuse is what you want on your weapons. I have charged and precise. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, as far as the shields go, I have sturdy pieces on both of them, and of course max health as well as the enchants on them. So let's go down. Let's just keep going down onto monster sets. Of course, all my enchants are going to be healthy, just so you guys know what's going on. Also, I have a heavy infused blood spawn. I already said head, yeah. I have a heavy infused head. Anyways, what it does, it gives you some stam recovery, which is that's spectacular. But the second piece, anytime you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 15 ultimate and increase physical and spell resistance by 6450 for 6 seconds. And then, of course, it occurs once every 6 seconds. Probably one of the best monster sets in the game for a tank, just for that ulti regen and a little bit of extra physical and spell resistance. Now, as far as the chest, it's gonna be divines is what I have. Okay, so let me just stop here for a second. The 4 pieces that you want to look for as far as gear goes, shields, head, all the way down to toe, is going to be sturdy, infused, reinforced, and divines. Okay, and the reason why is because the block mitigation, excuse me, that was weird. Anyways, the block cost is increased in this patch, so when you go to block something, you're using a lot more stam. So a lot of sturdy pieces are going to help out reduce that. Anyways, and the reason why I say sturdy first is because a lot of tanks are saying it's best in slot. I think it's one of the ones that are best in slot. I don't think it's like overpowering that you have to have it, but I think it's at the top where you need it. If you feel like if you're using a lot of stam while blocking, then by all means stack up some sturdy pieces on your body. The other one is going to be infused, and when I say infused, the reason why is because you're mainly going, you're not really going for a health tank build in this patch, but infused pieces are going to help you out when, when you're looking at your pool and your health. You honestly want to go for a little bit more health this patch, and a little bit more stam than Magicka. The reason why is because the synergy from orbs and shards share the same. They are the same now. So anytime you synergize one as a tank, they share the same cooldown, so you cannot activate an orb and a shard at the same time, or one after another. And what they also do is they share the same cooldown. I think I said that. But anyways, they also share the same as what you get back as far as resources. So if you activate a shard or you activate a energy orb, it's gonna give you whatever you have most of. So if you have if you have a higher max stam than max Magicka, you're gonna get stam back from the orb / shard. If it's the other way around, say you have more max Magicka, then you have more max stam. So say you have 18k Magicka, but you only have 15k stam, then it's going to give you Magicka back when you activate the synergy. So keep that in mind when you are messing around with your attributes and your enchants and whatnot. Anyways, so I have divine pieces on my chest. Also with the health enchant, 30 piece on my shoulder along with health enchant. That extra 4% block cost is decent. And then for the waist, so the next set we have is Green Pact. I think I went over it. Basically it's max health recovery, and max health, and then anytime you have a food buff active, you gain max health and health recovery. I'm all over the place today, sorry. So it's a really good set. These two sets go together. You really bump up your health by quite a bit. Anyways, I have an infused waist, and I have max health on this as well. And then, of course, for the hands, it's going to be sturdy with max health. Legs are going to be divines with max health, and then boots are going to be sturdy with max health. So just show you what I wear. So for the jewelry, they're all going to be shield play. That's just what I use. I was using all max recovery, and I felt like my magic recovery was fine, and I didn't really need any more. And I started messing with it, and I put 3 shield plate on here, and you don't even need 3 shield plate, but I just did it and just kind of tested it out, and it still worked fine. Like there's honestly no combination as far as what enchants you want to run on here, and what I mean by that is if you put shield play and then you put magic recovery. So any which way you want to put those 2 enchants on these 3 jewelry pieces is totally fine, and it's not going to hinder you one way or the other. Yes, of course, you're losing out on one thing and you're gaining another, but honestly, it's not a huge. It's not a dramatic change that you're not gonna notice really, unless you constantly look at your stam pool and you constantly watch it. I mean, if you're just going about and you're doing your own thing as a tank, you're not gonna notice it. I was sitting there watching my stam on the axes with all magic recovery, and then I did it with all shield play, and honestly, it wasn't a big difference. I didn't notice hardly anything change from it, to be honest. So, I mean, I did notice it wasn't dropping as fast with the shield play, and then, but I mean, honestly, it goes back to popping your igneous every so often, so you get that 990 stam back. But anyways, we'll get into that. But yeah, I didn't really notice any difference. So totally up to you if you want to put all magic recovery or all shield play on. Totally up to you. Alright, so right now we're going to look at the CP setup. And this is just what I have. This is just what I have for me. You can obviously swap it around and do your own thing, but this is just what works for me, and I've had the CP set up since the patch dropped, and it's fine with me, and I haven't noticed any issues one way or the other. So, anyways, let's go into it. Oh, and as far as the passives go, I'm not really gonna go over the passives. I'll kind of like go over them as I'm explaining what my CP is at and what they're at, and you guys can kind of read it for yourself. I'm not really gonna go too in depth on the passives. If you want me to, then go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will. But without further ado, so Warlord, it just reduces the cost of break free by 20%. Now, if you put 57 in here, you're gonna have 20 points higher than 15. It's like 20.20 something or something like that. And if you put 55 in here, it's gonna go to 19. So 56 is a good mark you want to put at that 20%. So I'll put 32 in tenacity. And the reason why is when you do that heavy attack, you're going to get stand back. I had messed up on my other video before. I knew what I was talking about. I just, nervous first video. You know how it goes. Do anything you're doing first, you're going to be kind of nervous at. Anyways, so when you do your heavy attack, you're going to get stand back. You get 8% stand back. If you put 33, you're going to be 8%, 0.20 or 30, whatever. If you do 31, you're going to be 7%. So, and the reason why we put 30 in here is just mainly for the salty regen right here, and tenacity helps too. So the next one we have 66 Shadow Ward. Again, it's 22% reduced cost of block, so that helps out a lot. Especially when you are tanking axes or just tanking anything in general, it just helps to have that little bit extra reduced costs. The other thing I have is 56 tumbling. There's a lot of times that I've noticed, and VHOF also have fabrication, that I've had to dodge roll a few times just to escape from a heavy attack when a healer was down, or when I was debuffed from VHOF's fabrication second boss. There's times when I've had to dodge roll to escape a heavy attack to lower my health than what it should have been. So putting some into tumbling really helps out. It's honestly not a hit or miss. It really does help out. So anyways, let's go on to, we got 100 in 100 in blessed. Just gonna increase your healing done. And then we got 80 in Elfborn, just increases the damage of your healing crits by magic abilities. This does not work with Vigor or Rally. Alright, Elfborn does not work with Vigor or Rally. Okay, what this does work with is it works with Green Dragon's Blood. It works with Deep Breath. Basically any magic ability that you're getting health back from. So those, and your main self heal is going to be probably Green Dragon's Blood, and that's going to be on your back bar. But yeah, that's just what I use. You could honestly take 1 point out of or a few points out of here and get that 24% in Elfborn, but this is just how I have it. You can mess with it, see what you like. Anyways, but I have 30 in Physical Weapon Expert. And honestly, mainly why you do it is you're doing it for these little passives right here. It seems like it helps out a little bit, but I'm still tinkering with this one. So keep that in mind. I'll do another video if I do end up changing these. If I do end up changing this these 30 points, then I'll let you know. But honestly, I'm thinking about just taking some of them out and putting them into Elfborn, like one into Elfborn and then a few into Precise Strikes. So Precise Strikes is gonna be your Vigor heals and your Rally heals, as far as like it critting. But anyways, so I have 56 in Ironclad. It's just basically going to be reduces damage taken you get from direct damage. So that helps out a lot. When you I'm trying to think like how's a good way to explain this. A lot of people don't really know what direct damage is. I can do a video on what is actually direct damage and what is actually considered a dot, like an AOE and whatnot. But yeah, if you wanted to see that, then I can do one. But anyways, it just reduces damage to direct damage to you. Just reduces it. Anyways, so I have 56 in thick skin. This is 20%. Just basically dots. Damage over time effects. So that's what a dot is. Damage over time. Then I have 49 Ellie Defender. Just basically like your elemental damage, flame, frost, all that cool stuff. And then Hardy at 49 as well. Which is your poison and like your physical, the damage. Disease damage and stuff like that. Take a second look over these passives. Not bad passives. Not bad passives. Right, and then there's going to be none in the Lord. So that covers our CP, it covers our gear, it covers our enchants and our traits. Now let's go over some skills. Excuse me. So here's what we're gonna go over. This is the front bar, and this is what works for me. You can totally change the bars around, but I honestly would recommend. I'll tell you which skills I recommend you want to keep on your front bar, and which ones you can kind of mess around with. So the first bar that you should probably keep on your front bar is your close range taunt, which would be Pierce Armor. You have to be within 5 meters of it to taunt. So you have a range taunt, which would be inner fire and your back bar. But for close quarters taunting, this is your go-to. Unless, I mean, obviously it's going to be situational. I'll go into that later. But anyways, it does some physical damage. It taunts them for 15 seconds. Uses 1497 stamina. But the main thing is it affects the enemy with major fracture, major breach, reducing their physical and spell resistance by 50 to 80 for 12 seconds. It's just a good debuff on the enemies, especially bosses. So it really helps out. And yes, it does stack with the crusher. So balance is the second skill that we're going to be using. You could put this on your back bar. You could keep it in your front bar. I like keeping it on my front bar because if you guys play on Xbox or console itself, it's so laggy sometimes that you try and swap weapons and you can't do it. I mean, it is what it is. It's just what it is on console. On PC, it's not so much that issue. So you can honestly put balance on your back bar if you feel the need to, or if you feel like you need Green's Dragon Blood or something like that on your front bar. So let's just look at our second bar and see what we can put on there. You could put Green's Dragon Blood up there. You could put Purge. You could put Deep Breath. You could put almost any other skill, as far as it's a flex skill, in that spot. Totally fine. But this is the way I use it, and I'll show you how I use it later on. But anyways, balance. What does it do? It just sacrifices health. For X Magicka, it gives you major result, major reward for 23 seconds, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 50 to 80, and then you can't heal yourself for 4 seconds. But other players can heal you. So, the more health you have, the more balance is going to take away. So if I had lower health, it would take away lower health but give me lower max magicka back. But if you look at it, 13k health for almost 8k magicka, I mean, what is 13k health to this build? I mean, honestly, what is that? You're at 52. You're constantly going to be getting healed anyways, with the melee being stacked on you anyways, and the healer's healing you. So you're not really going to see an effect on this that's really going to hinder you from being able to play or anything like that. And you only want to use this in somewhat situational awareness, situational instances. Such as the second boss of that Halls of Fabrication. If you have the boss and the ad that sprays the debuff, you're gonna want to wait until that ad is dead, and or if you don't have a debuff to activate this skill to get more magicka. And the reason why is because if the ad is nowhere close to dying and you activate this skill and then you get heavy attacked by the boss and you don't dodge roll it, it's gonna hit you pretty hard, right? So you only want to use this skill kind of like when you need, or if you need to keep the uptime on your majors, so which would be Major Ward and Major Resolve. Again, I'll do a video on how to position yourself on bosses and ad pools and things like that, and I'll kind of go over when I'm hitting it and why I'm hitting it then, instead of waiting, or why I'm waiting to hit it and things like that. So I'll do more videos on those, and then kind of give you a rough estimate on when to activate this ability. Basically, you want to activate this ability when there's nothing really too heavy going on that you're not taking a shit ton of damage from. Like, okay, so here's another example. If you've ever seen or been in Hell Raw, normal, hard mode, or just regular vet, the warrior, which is the very last boss, right? What he does is he does a sweep attack. And what I mean by that is he's doing this. And he does it, I think, like 4 times, 3-4 times. Anyways, long story short, you don't want to activate this skill as he's doing that, because that would just not really make sense to take away more health than you're already getting hit by. Those attacks hit really hard. They're probably some of the biggest physical damage that you're taking in that trial, and it's coming from him. So why would you want to sacrifice health in a time where you kind of need health? So, and it doesn't even last long. It lasts for like 3 seconds. So then you can activate this ability and get some magicka back if you've been low. But by the time that's done, you're already at like 2-3k magicka anyways, if you have a magicka recovery at a decent point. Anyways, not too much on this skill, but anyways, it's a good skill. It gives you some major resolve, major ward, and it lasts for 23 seconds. It gives you magicka back when you're low. Just keep in mind, you just can't heal yourself for 4 seconds. Anyways, the next skill that I used was Structured Entropy. Basically what it does some magic damage over 12 seconds. It gives you some health, and then health every 6 seconds. Yeah, whatever. Grants you some spell damage. I mean, that's cool. It lasts for 20 seconds, so yeah, you can potentially hit this, and then hit Igneous, and then hit Green's Dragon Blood to get you a really good heal going. But I mean, whatever. Those are, I mean, that's another time, another video. But anyways, the main reason why you want it is for the last passive, which is while slotted, your max health is increased by 8%. It's a really good skill to have. If you're going for that health build, this gives you a little bit more health, and plus it's a flex spot. You don't have to have this skill on your bar. You can honestly have where is it at? There it is. You can honestly have Absorb Magicka on your bar, on your front bar, and that's totally fine. But honestly, if you're in Vet Halls of Fabrication, there's not that much spell projectiles, like any kind of magicka spells that are going to be lunged at you. So it's kind of like whatever. But I mean, I guess you could have it for the very bottom passive, which it just gives you like it just reduces the blocking by 8%, the cost of blocking by 8%, which is a really good passive. It is a really good passive, actually, and it's a really good skill. It helps out a lot. If you feel the need that you need that little bit extra mitigation, by all means, put it on your bar. But if you feel like you need that little bit extra health when you're going into a new trial you know nothing about, or you know some about, but it's just a lot of damage going out, then I kind of suggest putting Entropy on there. And just kind of seeing how you adapt to this new build style. Now, what you can also put on there is Invigorating Drain. And a lot of people are like, what the fuck? This dude's crazy. Anyways, basically what this skill does is it does some awesome high DPS with magic damage. It really doesn't. But anyways, it does some magic damage, it restores some health, whatever. But the main thing right there is that first paragraph at the very bottom after the comma. The second comma. Third comma. Generating 3 ultimate every 1 second for 3 seconds. That's really good. Right? And I use that when if I have stamp and magicka and health and nothing's happening, like I will do a heavy attack or a light attack and then use this, or I'll just use this right off the rip. But you mainly want to get that light attack in just so you can get that little bit extra ultimate. If you're trying to gain ultimate, Igneous Shields, Heroic Slash, light attack in between them, and then do Invigorating Drain. Totally fine. You're going to get hella ultimate really quick. Yeah, when you activate the drain, the enemy is stunned for 3 seconds. I mean, who really cares about that? That really doesn't apply to bosses, so excuse me. So it's useless. The only thing that really works on is ads, such as like the ads on the twins on VHOF. Yeah, it works. I haven't really tested out on the ads in Halls of Fabrication because I've been trying out new skills, but I honestly don't think it stuns. It may stun them. I don't know. I haven't tested it out, but you take a lot of damage. The way that we do things, we do really the way we do things. We take a lot of damage. So to leave yourself open like that to use something that you're gonna gain ultimate from blocking, heroic slashing, and igneous, and there's really no point to use this during apples. But boss fights, yeah, you could use this, and I use it in boss fights. If you guys ever watch me stream, you'll see me use it. So another skill you can use, let's go ahead and look. You could put hardened armor on there, but honestly it does the same thing as balance, so you can exchange hardened armor for balance and then put the old setup on, which would be pierce armor, hardened armor, absorb magicka, igneous shields, and heroic slash. You could do that, but let's see what else. You could put green dragon's blood on your front bar too. I mean, there's so many skills that you can interchange with this because this is a flex spot. And Vet Halls of Fabrication, there is a lot of damage going out, but it's not so much that you're gonna constantly use all your stam on. So absorb magicka is fine if you want to use that. Go ahead, by all means use it. Just know you're losing out on the 8% max health. Anyways, let's go on to the next skill. Next skill is Igneous Shields. Everybody knows what this one is. Look on the right side. Excuse me. Alright, so basically what it does is gives you a little damage shield. Excuse me. Your own damage shield absorbs 100% additional damage. You also gain major mending, increasing your healing done by 25% for 3 seconds. I mean, this is a really good skill. You're getting basically what you're using the skill for is not really using it for the major mending, and I mean you're using it for the shield for your group to kind of help them out, but you're using this one for the shield to kind of help your group out, and you're also using it to get stam back. And I'll go over the passives here in a second, but using this to get your stam back. So anytime you activate Earth and Heart ability, you're getting 990 stam back, and that's really good. So this is basically you're going to be your spammable. It costs 4,050 magicka. Not tremendous amount, but it does help out. Next one is Heroic Slash. Basically does some physical damage, reducing your movement speed by 60% for 12 seconds. It's all good. Does minor maim, reducing their damage down by 15% for 12 seconds. And you gain minor heroism, granting you 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. Another good skill. Basically, what you're using this one for is you're not using it for the very top. You're using it for the second part and the third part. So you're reducing you're affecting them with minor maim, and you're getting that minor heroism. So those are the two you're really looking at why you're using this ability. Just hit it every but every 9-10 seconds and you'll be fine. Also, you want to hit Igneous every 6 seconds because of the Earth and Heart passive. Anytime you hit the Earth and Heart ability every 6 seconds, you're going to gain 3 ultimate. And I'll show you the passives. Next one is going to be Aggressive Warhorn. Oh, by the way, you want to keep, me personally, you want to keep Igneous on your front bar and Heroic Slash on your front bar. And the reason why is because if you keep Pierce Armor, Heroic Slash, and Pierce Armor, and Igneous Shields on your front bar, you're not going to have to keep swapping back and forth to keep trying to keep your uptime on your ulti regen. And then plus, also, you got to look at it like this. Why would you want a 2-second shield, like Igneous Shield, and you're mainly using it to kind of help out and shield your group? Why would you want to put that on your back bar, constantly having to swap back and forth between your bars? That just doesn't make sense. And then every 9 seconds, you're going to have to reapply this anyway, so why would you put it on a back bar when basically your back bar is going to be your buffs? So anyways, Aggressive Warhorn, front bar. 250 ultimate, lasts for 30 seconds, 20 meter radius. Basically what this is going to do is going to give you 10% to all your resources. That's going to go health, magicka, and stam for 30 seconds. It also is going to give you minor toughness, which is what it is, whatever, right? The extra 10% health. Anyways, the reason why this is good is because of that. The 30 seconds, you're getting 10% extra pull to your resources and your health, but also the bottom. Anytime you activate it, you're gaining, your group and yourself are gaining major force, increasing your critical damage done by 15% for 9.5 seconds. It's still really good. You want to keep this up about every 15 to 17 seconds, give or take. But it's a really good skill. You want to keep this up, like I said, every 15 to about 17-20 seconds. If you can, you're having a hard time getting ulti back, then you want to keep it up every 20 to 25 seconds. Excuse me. If you're still having an issue, then just keep it up every 25 seconds. So every time that you see the combat cues counting down or it counts down, right? So whenever you see it hit 10, then just go ahead and say, hey, next person pop your warhorn, whatever. But you really want to do about 15, 17, 18 seconds, somewhere around there, okay? But anyways, so a lot of people had said that Warrior Poet is probably the best set, like it's going to be the best pet next patch. Honestly, it's not going to, because minor toughness mixes. It does not stack. Let me just rephrase. Warrior Poet does not stack with Warhorn because they're both giving you the same buff, okay? Warrior Poet is giving you minor toughness anyways through the 5th passive skill, and you're getting minor toughness through the Warhorn. So there's really no point in wearing that. The only time that's good for wearing it if you're pugging a dungeon, yeah, that's really the only time I can see that being any kind of effective, and you're not popping a Warhorn. That'd be the only time I could see you wearing that. But even then, why would you waste your money on something that you would only use a few times? And you won't even use that like in a trial setting. I honestly wouldn't even use it for a dungeon setting because there's so many better sets out there that help your group out. Anyway, that's a selfish set. It's kind of like a dumb set, but don't waste your money on that. Anyways, so that's the front bar. We're gonna go over the passives right quick, and I should have done this first, but I do apologize. Anyways, passives. I kind of go over these. Just reduce the stamina cost of your one hand and shield abilities by 10%. Reduce the cost of blocking by 36%. Really good. Increase your weapon damage. Yeah, it's useless, but it increases the amount of damage you block by 20%. It's good. Improves your standard bash attacks. Bashing deals 100% additional damage and costs 40% less damage. Yeah, that's all whatever until the last part where it's 40% less damage. Increase the amount of damage you can block with projectiles and range attacks by 15%. Again, that's another good. Reducing the cost. And here's another one. Increase your movement speed while blocking by 60%. Now this one is kind of good, and it's kind of whatever at the same time. Because on the fourth boss of that Halls of Fabrication, there's times you're going to have to swap the boss. And a good time to do that, sometimes you're going to have to, when you're going from point A to point B, and you have to get there and you do not have the shield assault on, then holding blocking, getting there as quick as you can helps out. Because there's times where you're going to have to hold block for a little bit while you're swapping bosses. So just keep that in mind. Also, on the fourth boss, this is another good skill you're gonna want to look at using. This basically gets you from point A to point B extremely quickly. But just keep in mind that if you get hit by a trap on the fourth boss, you're gonna get sucked into it, and you're gonna be wondering like why you died, because you got trapped inside of a trap. Anyways, that's a passives for the one-handed shield. I'm going to go over the Mage's Guild right quick. Probably should have done this first. Anyways. So, this one, whatever. Reduce the magic and health cost of your Mage Guild's abilities by 15%. You know, that's good. Increase the duration of your Mage Guild abilities by 10%. I mean, okay. I guess you could put that in there and get entropy up, but I mean, once you get comfortable with that trial, you're going to interchange entropy with something else, to be honest. I mean, I did. I only used it because I wanted that little bit extra health to kind of help my healers out. But now that everybody's getting comfortable with it, I took it out and used something else. You want to make life as easy as you can for yourself and for your healers. And for your DPS, alright? So just basically, you want to make life easier for you and everybody that's around you. So that extra bit of health really helped out the healers. They didn't really have to worry about me too much, to be honest. Increase your max magic recovery by 1% for each Mage's Guild ability slot. Currently bonus is 2%. Just because I have 2 of them on. It increases that magic recovery. It's really good. You can go ahead and get Mage's Guild 9. It's totally fine. And then it'll up the percent. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm lazy, and I got Mage's Guild on like 10 other characters, and I ain't trying to do it again. And I don't feel like I really need that much magic recovery. But you can definitely put it on there and level it up. If you feel the need to and you want to, then go ahead and by all means do it. Last one, casting Mage's Guild ability has a 50% chance of granting you empowering, increasing the damage of your next direct damage attack by 20% for 5 seconds. Yeah, that's about as useful for a tank. Alright, and that both goes with balance and entropy. Earth and Heart ability. So let's go down here, look at the passives. So increase the duration of Earth and Heart abilities by 20%. Okay. When you cast an ultimate ability, you restore 55 health, magic, and stamina for each point of the ultimate's cost. That's actually really good. It's really useful, and it really helps out on magic DKs, stam DKs, and tank DKs, whether you're a magic or a stam class for tanking. Anyways, so yeah, that's really good. Moan's Blessing is another good one. Casting an Earth and Heart ability grants a minor brutality to you and your group members, increasing their weapon damage by 5% for 20 seconds. I mean, it's all right. Whatever, it's good. Anyways, if you're in combat, you also generate 3 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. So remember when I was talking about popping the Igneous Shields every 6 seconds? This is why. I mean, you're not going to be able to hit it every 6 seconds, but you can keep this up pretty regularly, and you can spam it pretty regularly to get that ulti. Just make sure it's every 6 seconds and whatnot. When you cast an Earth and Heart ability, you restore 990 stam. So again, that's what I was talking about as far as like spamming Igneous to get stam back in conjunction with balance. So And I'll show you what that looks like and whatnot, you know, as well. Anyway, so that is that. And swap bars because there's no so if you look at the assault tree, there's no passive that I'm gonna get because we're not in PvP. Each one pretty much counts per PvP. Generate 10 ultimate when you kill an enemy. Like, okay, when are you gonna kill an enemy? Okay, there's times you can kill enemies in PvE if you're dueling, but other than that, that's not happening in PvE because your group doesn't count as enemies when you blow them up in Hell hard mode. So, anyways, we're gonna look at the back bar right quick, and we're gonna do this the way I should have done it when I first did it. But you know what? My bad. I apologize. Inner fire. This is your range taunt. 28-meter range, 4,000 magicka cost. Taunts him for 15 seconds. The same as Pierce Armor, except it doesn't hit him with the minor fracture or whatnot. Anyways, it doesn't hit him with a fracture, right? So it doesn't reduce their physical and spell resistance. Anyways, grants him for 38%. Gives him a synergy. That's the one I chose mainly because I wanted a magicka and I got tired of seeing the little plus sign saying that you can morph it. That's the only reason why I morphed it. You could not morph it, but whatever. You can morph it. Anyways, the other one is a stand-based morph, and this one is a magicka one. That extra synergy to proc is good for a tank if he wants to proc it, or if he gets the prompt to proc the synergy for inner rage. Other than that, all it is a range taunt. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, so the next skill, let me get over to it. So the next skill is going to be, oh, I went too far. This skill is going to be Green Dragon's Blood. It is a 23-second duration, 4,300 magicka that you're going to be using. Basically what happens is you pop this, you're going to restore 39% of your missing health. Really good self-heal. It really is a good, really good. Basically what happens is it grants you with major fortitude, major endurance, and minor vitality, increasing your health recovery, stamina recovery, and by 20%, and healing received by 8%. Yeah, that's a little cool. But the main thing is it's going to heal you for 39% of your missing health. That little bit extra recovery is nice for health and stam if you're not really doing shit and you're taking damage, then yeah, it's good. But other than that, you're mainly using it for the 39% of the missing health. The minor vitality is nice too. Again, this isn't really a flex spot, so I'm not really gonna go over what you could use as that for a flex spot. But our next skill is gonna be rapids. It's just a quick word for it, but it's retreating maneuver. It's 20 meter radius, 33 seconds is how it's gonna last. Basically, it's going to increase your movement speed by 30% when you're mounted and when you're unmounted. Also grants immunity to snares and immobilizations, removing any already applied as well. So if you are snared or anything like that, you pop that, you're going to get unsnared. So if you are DK tank and you pop this and then you hit igneous shields, your rapids will go away, and then you have to reapply them. So just keep that in mind. At the very bottom, the effect ends if you cast any spell on any enemy or ally. Alright? So it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything you cast on an enemy or a spell, it's going to get rid of it. And this is a flex spot, okay? You can also use the altar. Basically what it does, you lay it down. It's got an 8 meter radius, lasts for 46 seconds. It's a minor lifesteal, but if somebody's using Force Siphon, you don't really want to use this because it also grants a minor lifesteal. But, I mean, it gives you synergy to heal themselves for 48% of their max health. That's good if you don't have Force Siphon on. Other than that, I wouldn't really use it. Next one is Energy Orbs. It's 8-meter radius. It goes for 10 seconds. It costs 55.90 Magicka. Basically what it does is it does a little bit of healing. I guess you could call it a healing over time. I don't know if you really want to say that. But anyways, it heals them for every 0.5 seconds for 8 seconds as long as they're in the radius of it. And any ally that synergizes it is going to heal for so much health. Obviously, it's going to be different on a healer. And then it's going to give them some 39, some Magicka extent, whichever one's higher. So mine is 39.60 Magicka or Stam, whichever max is higher. Again, that's a flex slot. I wouldn't use Bone Shield, to be honest. It costs 3,700 Stam, but I mean, honestly, well, I mean, I don't use it. I'll probably never use it again. It only lasts 6 seconds. Like, I just don't understand why you would use a shield like this. It honestly does nothing that's really beneficial to you in the group. Yeah, somebody can synergize it and it's going to go to so many people, but at the same time, I mean, honestly, they have. I just don't think it's really that good of a skill, and it's not really optimal, especially with your Stam being at a kind of lower than what it was last patch. And also, who's gonna come up to the main tank and try and synergize this? Like, that's what I want to know. Maybe the off tank, but I mean, it's just not something you're going to use for in-game trials. Oh, my bad. Let's look at the Undaunted. Everybody knows what the Undaunted passives are. I'll just go run through them right quick. Activating their synergy restores 4% of your max health, stamina, Magicka. There's a cool bonus I have. Increase your max health, stamina, Magicka by 2% of your type of armor, heavy, medium, and light. That you have equipped, current bonus 4%. So if you have 511 or 51, if you have 511, it's going to be 6%. If you have 61, which I do, I have one medium shoulder, which is 30. And mine's going to be 4%. Or if you have all medium, it's going to be 2%. Another one that's going to be another flex spot that you're going to use, and you'd obviously put on both bars. So I would put this in a structured entropy slot, and then I would put it in rapids. I just like having them on the same buttons. Anyways, it's a 15-meter radius. It costs 4,000 Stam. Basically going to bond you with another player. You're going to take 30% of their damage that they get. If they get damage, you're going to take 30% of it. Gives you minor force, increasing your critical strike damage by 10%, and the bond will remain until you recast the spell or move more than 15 meters away. You could use the other one, but honestly, it's going to give you minor vitality, and you already get that from Green Dragon's Blood. So it's kind of like, why would you use it? But the main reason why you're using it is it's going to increase the DPS if you put on the DPS, and it's also going to mitigate some of the damage done. So there's times that they've used it on me because I've taken a lot of damage on the third boss, you know, holding 2 ads, and certain ads hit harder and put a don into you. Anyways, long story short, it helps mitigate some damage. Look at the passives. Increase your magic recovery by 5% for each support ability slotted. Yeah, you can put it on there, and you can put that up. Current bonus will be 5%. Totally fine. But I don't really put this on my main bar. You could activate it, but I'm kind of deciding where I want this one awesome skill point. Anyways, increase your healing down by 10% when you're near a keep. It's useless. Reduce the time it takes to rest somebody. That's also useless. But the Magic 8 is nice. You can honestly put barrier if you have barrier and you want to put it on your front bar just for that extra magic recovery. You could do that, But in my case, like once the lag started happening really bad, I just said, screw it. I'm going to keep Warhorn on my front bar no matter what. And then if I can swap bars and I need to pop magma, then I can. But the lag in the game on console, on Xbox, for sure. I don't know about PS4 and PC. I've never really had an issue with lag. But as far as console, yeah, you can put this on your front bar and then put Warhorn on your back bar. But just know that if you start lagging and you keep hitting barrier, people are gonna be like, just put Warhorn on your front bar. Like they're gonna get aggravated with you because you're losing that minor toughness and the 10%. So it's nice to put this on there. If you want to put Purge in your front bar, you can totally do that. In that flex spot, I mean, it's only gonna be for magic recovery. Whoop-de-doo. I just don't feel like I need that more extra recovery. But if you feel like you do, go ahead and do that. So anyways, that's rapids. And then let's go up to... Actually... Another one you could use, this we use is for execute sometimes. 5 meter radius lasts for 20 seconds. It's a 6,000 stam usage. Basically what it does is just reduces your damage taken by 8%. That's mainly what you're using it for. Yeah, it increases your stam recovery by 10%, but mainly all Magicka classes. Whatever. Anyways, the main thing is reduce the damage taken by 8%. So just keep that in mind. Passives. Just kind of reduce the stam. Fighter skill ability, of course, you're going to want that one. Slayer, yeah, increase weapon damage. That's cool. You generate 9 ultimate if you kill an undead, Daedra, or werewolf. Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. Skill tracker, yeah. And then bounty hunter. Yeah, okay, we're not in PvP. We're PvE. So anyways, that's pretty much all the flex spots that I can really like put my hand on. Oops. We already went over this skill. It's basically going from point A to point B extremely with haste. So I chose this one because I wanted that little bit damage shield. If I was taking damage while I was going and I activated this, it had like a mediocre damage shield on me once I ended. You know, whatever. But you can put this one there. I put this one there on the 4th boss. I exchanged it for rapids, and I'll put this there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm really using, like as far as skill wise. I only did one pretty much honorary mention, which would be the altar. I just wanted to hit on the lifesteal. But anyways, the next one we're going to use is deep breath. I know it kind of all over the place. I just a lot of things that pop up when you're tanking that you need to. Everybody kind of needs to know. Anyways, deep breath. It's a 8 meter radius, costs 4,000 magicka. Basically, what it does, it like sucks in some air, sucks in some energy from the enemies. Deals some magic damage, and it heals you for a little, like 100% of the damage caused, which is not really that much. Anyways, any enemy hit while casting is interrupted stun to set off balance for 2 seconds. I use this skill all the way up until the 4th boss, and then once we get to the 4th boss, I don't really use it anymore after that. So after that, what you can do is you can put on, where is it? There it is. You could put a ring of preservation and get ready for the final boss. You could do that, but I don't use it anymore. But I do use rapids still. So you can keep that one on to the last boss, and then put guard on the last boss for this one, and for structure and entropy. And then as far as like LB, obviously ring of preservation, then you'll be ready to go. I do keep purge on the entire Bet Halls fabrication trial. So basically what it does, just cleanses you and your group. Excuse me. removing 2 negative effects. That's mainly what you're there for, just removing the effects. You're not going to spam this. You are going to hit it a few times to help out on the first boss, the second boss, depending. The add pools, yes, of course, I'll add pools. The third boss, depending on who gets hit with the dot. Fourth boss, yes, you will use it because of the not the reclaimer, the reducer. Yeah, the reducer. I believe it's a reducer. He's gonna do an attack where he puts a dot on everybody. It's a burning attack, and you can cleanse that off. Fourth boss, not so much. There's not really to purge. There's a few things to purge, but if you're main taking, you're not really gonna be in a position to kind of hit people that need to be purged. You'll have 2 healers with the group and an off tank. So if they need you to purge, then God help us. Well, yeah, it's an 18-meter radius, 5200 cost. My backbone, I always keep this on in VHOF fabrication. I'm starting to keep this on a lot of the trials that I've been doing just because of pug runs. I've done a lot of pug runs and VMAW and whatnot, trying to help people get their skin. So this kind of helps out for a few seconds to not take any damage, more or less. Basically what it does, it's a duration lasts for 10 seconds, 10.8 whatever, but 10 seconds. It costs 200 ultimate, so you're able to get it back fairly quickly. When you do this, when you activate this skill, it's limiting incoming damage to 3% of your max health and dealing 450 flame damage to nearby enemies each second every 10.18 seconds. The damage thing is dumb, or it's not dumb, it's just, you're not really using it for damage. You're using it to kind of like oh shit, like I need some heals, or I need some help, and you pump this, and you'll stay alive until a healer's up or whatnot. When you activate, nearby allies can gain a damage shield for 100% of their max health for 9 seconds. It used to be, well, actually, it doesn't even matter. But I was gonna say, it used to be back in the VR levels before they changed it. Your group had to synergize it for it to activate to other group members, but they changed it, whatever. Anyways, long story short, I think you have to be about 5 meters to 4 meters away to get this shield anyways, but it's mainly just for old ship moments where both healers go down and you need some heals, but you run out of magicka, you don't want it, you can't use balance, and you have to pop this shield. That's about the only time you're really going to use this. Other than that, we're going to go into food, pots, and then I'll complete the video. So as far as pots go, I mainly use trash pots in certain situations, but I have in situations where they really need me to. If it seems tougher than it needs to be, then I'll pop tri-stat pots. But everybody knows what trash pot looks like. It's just the ones you pick up from everywhere. But tri-stat pots, here's kind of like a look at which ones I use. It restores 10,000 immediate health. Usually 20% health recovery, 20% stamina recovery, 20% magic recovery. Health recovery lasts for 52 seconds, and magic and stamina recovery lasts for 47 seconds. It also restores 75, 82 magicka and stamina immediately. So that's quite a bit of what it's restoring. Do you need to use this every chance you get? No, you don't need to. If you are full on stamina and full on health, but you just need magicka and you would rather not use balance than use a magic pot. It's gonna give you a little bit of recovery, and it's gonna last for a decent amount of time. But if you're low on stam, but you have full magicka and you have full health, or if you have little health but you don't want to use igneous, back to back to back, because who knows, something's happening and you just don't want to, then pop a stand pot, like pop a trash stand pot. Totally fine. But yeah, I have those all on my things. So the bottom is Stam, Trash Stam. The left is Trash Magica, and the bottom left in the corner right here is my Essence of Health, which is the Tri-Step. And then as far as food goes, I'm using the Tri-Step food. Just basically gives you 4K Magica, Max Magica, Max Dam, and Max Health. I don't see the point of using anything else. This is going to increase your pool by a decent amount. I just don't understand why you would use anything else. Just use the 4K extra health, Magica, and Stam. Other than that pretty much completes. Oh, you know what? I need to go over attributes. I apologize. So let's look at attributes. I'm at 59 health and 5 Stam. I'm slowly weeding out of 64 health, because I don't feel like I need this much health now. So I'm slowly weeding out of it. Every 5 points I put in this Stam. So testing it out to see which is better for my group. But for your group first starting out, I honestly would suggest just putting 64 in the health and getting that big extra pull, and that way you have more time to survive with that health. Yeah, my resistance are low right now, but that's because nothing is up and nothing is procced. What if you swap weapons? There you go. But if you proc I'm just gonna proc one skill and you'll see. So balance is procced. Boom, 24 and then 27 spell, 24 physical, and when bullet spawn procs, which is if not 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it's gonna be proc all the time, and you're looking at least 30 physical. All right. So. Let's keep that in mind. So I am stage 4 vampirism. I've been a stage 4 vampirism since I became a vampire, and there was a stage 4 vampirism thing. I've been it forever. I'm using the Astronaut, just the magic recovery one. So, and yeah, the Tri-Step food. And that pretty much completes the video. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions at all, or anything that you want me to cover or do, just leave it in the comment section below, and I will cover it. Thank you, and have a